Don't click away, wait for the theme, and that theme is team, and that's what makes the dream. I'm your host, DJ Conway, and this is the Dream Kast. With me today is the Gamers Club president. He's also the PR representative of the CCC of JJC, and he also goes by JC. Please give it up for Jefferson Cherrington. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
So far, so good.
Oh.
Kind of. I mean, depends. Mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff hasn't had the best days as of today. Why don't you just give a quick rundown of what happened today to you?
Okay. Today, I woke up and it was a great day until I walked outside. See, that's when I realized I took the wrong bus, heading in the wrong direction to the wrong side of town. And it was fun because I almost died. In theory. But I managed to make it safe, so.
Okay. Now, Jeff, I want to start off this inaugural podcast of the Dreamcast with one question. And it might be hard to you and it might be hard to others, but it's not hard to me, and I should probably just come out right and say it. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I would have to say The Dark Knight. Like, that particular movie, I watched it from the beginning to the end. I watched it twice. I watched it 3 times. Each time, it just blew my mind. The first time, it was just the visual. The second time, it was the soundtrack. The third time, it was the characters. It was all amazing. And considering how it was one of the best movies that DC had produced when they were struggling with making good movies, and they still do, I think it's fantastic.
Okay, that's good. Now, the reason I ask you this on this Dreamcast podcast is because you can tell a lot about a person just from their favorite movie. And it might not, be because of certain elements or storylines. It's just the way people like certain things about it. Now, I'm not going to, overanalyze this. I just wanted to know, because this podcast is about getting to know your guest, and that's what I wanted to do. So, my next question would have to be, how long have you been the Gamers Club president?
I have been the Gamers Club president for roughly a full year now, since fall of 2015. The way how that went about is, actually, at the time, the Gamers Club was completely defunct because our advisor realized that we had kind of run out of student leaders, and by completely, I mean, there was nothing going on by the time Main Street happened. There was only our advisor, and I showed up and I was like, well, what can we do? And he said, okay, well, I don't know what I can offer you at the most, but at the very least, I can promise you this. You'll get a chance at leadership. And I said, well, I'll consider it. So I waited for a couple weeks because who knows, maybe there's someone more qualified. There usually is. But not this time. So I decided, you know what, enough is enough. I'm done waiting. I stepped up to the plate. I talked to Paul, who was my advisor, and we started a movement. And the way I saw it was, in the past, the Gamers Club had always been just about playing games. And this time, I wanted to make it a lot more open, a lot more inclusive. I wanted to make sure that everyone in their games would be allowed to play, and basically I wanted to create a safe haven on campus, a community where people could come in and enjoy life and make friends, but also to be able to leave that safe haven and go out into the rest of the world, JJC and elsewhere, and to be able to do community service together, and to be able to basically, in small ways, change the world. That was my dream, and so far, I'm making progress.
And that sounds pretty good. I really like you going for that goal and you trying to succeed no matter what's going on. So my next question is, what was the difference between the Gamers Club that we know today and the Gamers Club that came before you?
Again, the Gamers Club that came before me predates all electronics as far as the electronic records that exist at JJC. So I only know what my advisor told me, because he had been involved in the Gamers Club since its inception in 90. So, I can't give you an exact date.
The 90s?
The 90s is what we're gonna just say. So it's been around for quite some time. But from last I heard, the Gamers Club of yesteryear, well, so to speak, basically they were unorganized and all they wanted to do was just play games, which isn't a terrible concept, but at the same time it lacks, to me at least, it doesn't really help anyone else at JJC. It's just kind of a self-absorbed thing to just go in and play games and then that's it.
Sounds kind of like the cyber cafe that we have.
Unfortunately, I'm going to... I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'll say it anyways.
Are you sure? Because, like, this is going to be out there, just so you know.
I know.
Okay, then go ahead.
And that's why I'm kind of being partial with my words, kind of not being... The cyber cafe that we have right now, it's... Well, at first, the Gamers Club used to meet in there. But the cyber cafe, again, at the time of its inception, back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s, like, the cyber cafe was huge in that it was the entire space. And now what you see now is not even half. About a quarter of the cyber cafe is still there. What's left are offices and our stuff. And so because of that, the people that choose to frequent there, they predate when I came. And so they have more of a, what would I say? An attitude about staying together, which is totally respectable. But I haven't really been able to approach anyone so far.
From the cyber
cafe. And such. And so, I don't know. Again, it is what it is. I try to visit the cyber cafe when I can, but due to the amount of things I'm involved in, it's not much. So,
like a lot of people, when they think about the Gamers Club, they think it's actually part of the cyber cafe. So I just wanted to throw that out there and make sure that people know that if you want to be part of the Gamers Club, you don't have to go to the cyber cafe. You can go to the Gamers Club, which, if you want to plug where you guys are at this moment, go ahead.
Well, we are currently, and actually thank you for that clarification. That's probably the number one thing everyone gets wrong about us, is that we are associated with the cyber cafe. We are currently, because we have grown since last semester, located in the U building in U 2019-21. We are typically there either Mondays or Wednesdays from 3 to 5 p.m. Definitely, if you're interested in us, shoot us an email at jjcgamersclub@gmail.com, and we'd love to get back to you.
Yeah. I'd have to say, I didn't even know about the Gamers Club when I first joined Wolfpack. I didn't even know about Wolfpack, honestly. Last year when you guys charted for the first time, I think. Could you tell me about that? Because when I was there, I had understood part of it, that you guys were a club, but that was the first time you guys were being charted.
Right. Well, yeah, that was actually...
or chartered, my bad.
Right. That was actually last semester, to be exact. And that was because we missed the original, the fall semester. And what happened in the fall semester is that by the time I stepped up, the due dates for being for being officially a club here, had passed, and so we had to wait for the next semester. So, when you're not an official club, there are some things that you can't do, like posting flyers and recruiting actively around campus. Everything is word of mouth. And even with that, by the end of that semester, we still had about 10 people. For a club that shouldn't be existing. So the semester round, we made sure we got our paperwork together. We went to the CCC meeting, which is, again, the meeting where every club goes to just make sure that, hey, we're on base, we're all supporting each other, and we're all making sure that keeping each other accountable for what happens. And in that way, people are able to collab and such. At that meeting, we announced that we were here to do business, in that we didn't want to be the gamers club of the past, but we wanted to make it better than it had ever been. And so far, I believe we've been doing that.
Okay. I'm glad to hear it too. I want people to be clear. I want you to be clear on, and you have been, just on wanting people to be clear and know that the Gamers Club isn't really just, hey, come over here and play games. You guys do other things, such as
events. Let's see. We are currently planning, actually, a collaboration with Wolfpack right around the corner. This one is a gaming event, but it is also a fundraiser, because it is a common truth that in order for things to happen, you need money. So, as it is, we are planning what we call Smash Pack 2, because Smash Pack 1 happened last semester. Smash Pack 2 is a fundraiser that is also a Smash tournament, and we're doing 2 tournaments at that time, Smash 4 and Smash Melee, and it'll be at the same time on the bridge. We're looking for 32 people to join each side. The event goes down at November 3rd, and it will be spectacular. I already feel it in my bones. And I don't like to make high promises, because I believe that each statement I say, either I'm going to say it with finality and I know it's right, or I should just not say it at all. So.
And that's a promise. I have to say, working with you last year on the Smash Pack, I don't think that idea would have gotten off the ground without your help. You were very helpful with organization, help with registration, and everything else. And that goes the same same to your council. All the members of the council helped out, and it was really nice to see how much they trusted and respected you. So much so that, who do you think would who will be the next president in your eyes?
Right. Well, assuming I get sick and die today, my vice president would have to take over for now. But my problem right now is that currently I have to find someone who is willing and able to take up my role. I'm fulfilling a little bit more than what a typical club president should be doing, such as filming basically every event we've done so far. And as of this semester, we've been to 2, which is kind of massive, and because we're planning quite a few more.
Just to clarify, we're like 2 months into the school year, so that 2 is a big number for a club.
Exactly. And so, even with that, I've been basically the graphic designer for my club. And again, I've also been helping with paperwork and answering emails and all that, which I've started to make sure my power is more delegated now. But in the past, my biggest problem, and it's also not my biggest problem, is that I am a perfectionist. And so when I have a vision, when I have a goal, I like to make sure it's achieved. And I believe that if you don't have the finest tools, or let's say it's a sandwich, if you don't have the finest ingredients to make that sandwich, it's gonna taste horrible. And you're gonna taste it and you're gonna know it's horrible. So, with my analogy said, if I can't find people I trust and I know are willing to be able to do it, I will do it myself. Or if I just don't have the time to ask people, I will do it myself. And so recently I've found solace in starting to trust my council members even more, but they have thankfully supported me ever since the beginning of our endeavor.
Yeah, that's I'm glad you understood where I was going with that, because the way I worded that question was not at all what you came out of there with. So thank you for understanding what I was trying to go for.
I hope I did.
Yeah. But you've said all the things that you've done for Gamers Club. Do you enjoy it?
Personally, in a weird sense, yes, I do. And at the same time, the thing is, it's a pet project that I didn't know if it could get off the ground. And all of a sudden, it became really, really huge. At our first meeting this semester, we had over 40 people, to the point where the room was overcrowded, and I had to seriously start changing up regulations and such so that we could have a larger room, which we currently do now, U 2019-21, which is a double-blind room. It's all about, honestly, what's the question again?
What's it like? Do you like it? And
all right,
there you go.
Right. So yeah, for me, it's the only reason I've stayed on for this long is because it's not that it's not that I like necessarily being the one to go to, the person to talk to, but I do like helping people. And I see that this club not only has the potential, but we've done it in the past with some help from me. But we have done it in the past in where we have helped people. We helped out in the natural science workday last year, both semesters, as a matter of fact. We helped out in the Foster Palooza event, which was basically, we had foster kids coming in, and we wanted to give them the best JJC welcome possible. So a bunch of departments and our club joined up, and we threw them a Christmas party, and it was amazing. And so, seeing smiles on people's faces, that is what I live for. And so, if the question is, do I like what I do? I guess the answer is, I like the results of what I do.
Very, very well worded. I really like that answer. Now, I talked about all the things that you do, but I also want to talk about things that you've done. So, what, let's go from, like, the bad to the good. What are the, like, bad, what's something that's happened to you as the Gamers Club president that's been bad?
Well, I mean,
knowing that the word bad is also subjective, so go
again,
ahead.
Yeah. Like, bad, I don't know. I would say, I guess the only bad thing we've had was the way we began. If I had known, and again, I came into JJC last year as a freshman, and so the bad thing for me was trying to figure out, and I mean, I still struggle with this right now, trying to balance the work balance between school work and volunteer work and club work, and it can be a pain at times, but I mean, again, as long as you can accomplish, say, 2 out of 3, you're not bad. As long as you end up with good grades, so you know which 2 I'm referring to. Another thing bad, so to speak, kind of adversity, at the very beginning of me taking on the role of president, back when the Gamers Club was unofficial for a semester, our biggest problem was trying to work around, and it still is, but not as big as it used to be. It was trying to work around people's ideas of us, because again, we were inactive for a semester. So what they had known previously about the Gamers Club is that we were disorganized. We hardly participated in anything, and it was basically, I had to fight uphill to reestablish my club, whereas other people with new clubs, they could just start it from off the ground and get running. So it did, as far as bad, And again, this is subjective because in a different light, it is good that I had to work to earn respect, but...
And now you have a name for yourself.
And now I do.
Now, let's go for your best achievements. Like, what are the achievements that you pride yourselves on as the Gamers Club president?
Achievements. I would say definitely, establishing relationships with other clubs. That was like, and I'm not just saying just relationships as in I go there as a member and I come back and it's like, yeah, we talked about maybe doing something and nothing happened. I'm talking about stuff like what we did with Wolfpack last semester. Actually creating a tournament or an event together and then watching it actually happen and amaze us both and exceed our expectations. That is, honestly, those are my achievements, is seeing a relationship from start to, well, I wouldn't say finish, but from start to where we are now in a very positive light, in a light where even people from OSA can say, yeah, this was definitely better than I expected.
It was certainly better than we expected. We expected, like, 5 people to show up, and then, like, 20-odd someone's come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this year, we're setting our expectations high.
Yeah, no, I'm also excited. Now, I have one last question about the Gamers Club in general, then I want to move on to some more vague on you. But if you could change anything about your club, what would you do?
If I could change any one thing about my club, wow. Does it have to be something that I could actually, like, do I necessarily have to be able to, or is it like something like, in theory, God powers, so to speak?
Let's do both.
All right.
Let's do the first one in, like, you can, it's possible.
All right. One thing that I would like to change about my club right now, I would just say, currently we have a problem about just starting on time so that our members can enjoy the full game time, because we do have to leave at 5 due to regulations and all that. So I would say just simply just being able to start on time with all of our council members. That would be definitely something I'd like to change. So that's something probable. Improbability.
God powers.
God powers, so to speak. I would, of course, increase our membership, definitely, but also have a good percentage of our people be females. Because as it is, I mean...
Well, would you like to, like, maybe explain yourself on...
And that's what I'm about to do.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what I'm about to do. I'm not about to ask people to change their gender. That's not what's going on here. No. What I'm saying is, again, God powers. So, almost every club has a problem. Well, not a problem, but it can be frustrating at times. Where you have less than an ideal amount of female people interested in the club.
So would you say you're trying to diversify the club more?
And that's exactly what I'm getting to. What I'm trying to say is, for me, right now, females, I mean, we do have a few, but they're like 1 in every 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have, let's say, 20 or 30 people, you only have 3 females, and from a person that, like, I believe in representing JJC as a place where all people can come and game. I feel like there's a little more than just 3, 1 out of 10 people, so to speak.
So you're trying to diversify and make them feel more comfortable?
I am definitely trying to diversify.
Okay. Now, then we already know we've established you're the Gamers Club president, and we're close to almost halfway. Well, we are definitely halfway through. We're almost done. We got like, say, 5-6 minutes left. But I wanted to ask, what did you strive for as a kid?
Oh my goodness.
Like, because we all, when we were kids, we all asked ourselves, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, you're almost there, bud. What did you want to do?
Well, it's funny. The other day, I was reading something I wrote in 8th grade, something similar to this. And to indirectly quote myself, I didn't know what I wanted to be. I already knew that much. I just knew that wherever I ended up, I wanted to do something that would make me happy, and it would make my family happy, and it would make the people around me feel happy. Again, of course, I was just a kid, so I did use happy that many times. But the whole point was, I've always been more of a person to try to give back, share happiness, and share the warmth and the love that I feel towards humanity, with humanity. And so now that I'm actually starting to achieve these things through community service projects, through events coordinating, through just watching the smiles on people's faces as they come to our meetings and our events and such, I feel like, in a way, I am satisfying my 12-year-old desires.
Context.
Yes.
Hopefully no one just jumped in at that time. I'm satisfying my 12-year-old desires.
Excuse me.
It's okay.
I was 12 in 8th grade, so
now
again, context.
Yeah. Do you think your goals back then have changed now?
Significantly. See, the funny thing about all this, I am an introvert. I
could not tell from, like, honestly, you are really open.
I don't like being in the public light unless I have to. And that's the thing, is until last year, I was always, well, almost always, you can excuse senior year for a bit, but I was almost always in, like, the backlight. Even playing, I played with a little band for a bit, and even then, I was playing piano, and so I was off on the side, where everyone else took front and center stage. So in a way, I have changed dramatically. My 12-year-old self would not recognize me for one instant, because he would never believe that I could have the influence that I have in our people, or be in the position that I am, because, again, he knows just how scared I am internally, that, you know, maybe I'm not saying things right. Maybe I'm just not communicating things right. Maybe I'm about to, trip or fall or something. I mean, all these things do happen in the public spotlight. And, yeah, I would say I've come a long way.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because if you didn't change, I probably wouldn't be having this conversation with you. You've really changed. I would not have taken you as an introvert. You've helped us out tremendously with your help, not only with Smash Pack, but with other projects, some projects that are coming up soon. But I really am glad that you're not exactly your 12-year-old self who would stay in the background. But I have to say that's probably why I love college, because college really just allows you to grow as a person and learn and experience. So with that, I do have one final question, and this one isn't like your favorite movie, but you are the Gamers Club president, so I have to ask, what is your favorite game?
Oh no. Oh boy. This one. Wow. That hurts.
I know. I threw you off with the movie thing.
No. My problem is I'm currently torn between quite a few. I can't say whether. You know what? I think I'll go with this. I would have to say. Real quick.
Here's the rule. You have to choose one.
I know. That's why I said I'm torn.
Okay. There's no can I choose two? No, it's one.
I have about 12 that are in top first place.
Yeah.
Okay. So But I would say, for what it is, all-time favorite game, I would have to go back all the way to the game that they call Fate. And Fate, it is a third-person perspective hack and slash castle dungeons game. And normally, I am not one to play that kind of a game, honestly. I don't really... it just doesn't vibe with me, especially like the whole magic thing. I'm just like, no. But that particular game, it totally, like, every time I got to play it as a kid, I would always go for it because it just had this vibe of energy of you can do it, and you can get to the next boss, and you can go down another level, and you can keep going, and you can keep having fun, and you just... There was never a point of time when I played it, even when I died, where I was like, man, this sucks. I want to quit. I want to never want to see this game again. So I would have to go with Fate. It's just the penultimate game for me that started really my love of games. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Now, thank you, Jeff, for being with me. He is the Gamers Club president. He's also the CCC representative of the public relations. Is that correct? Something about that. I would say public relations officer sounds more official, but Yeah. But as a plug-in, just before we go, again, if you're interested about the JJC Gamers Club, our mission statement, what we're planning to do next, email us at jjcgamers, that's GAMERS, club, @gmail.com. We will get back to you really quickly, and hopefully, I hope to see some of you there. Take care. But this has been the Dream Kast. I'm DJ Conway, and this is Jefferson Cherrington. All About the Dream Kast is just a conversation about your life goals, achievements, things that you're doing right now that you're finally happy with. So, with all that being said, now you can click away. That was the Dream Kast.